Hey, welcome back to the Why Should I Refer You podcast, coming to you from my dining room because we got a ton of snow and ice here in Roanoke, and I got kicked out of my office. And anyways, what's new? I'm in charge. Not really. So if you see a young adult male run around behind me, that's my son, Robert. And you may have an appearance of our service dog, but I just wanted to get this podcast out because it's kind of foundational for the skill series when we talk about culture. And when we talk about culture, reference referrals, it's really how we make decisions effectively. Here's the problem with how a lot of us, and me in the past, how we approach marketing. And we're looking for the silver bullet that kills the werewolf, right? The steak that kills the vampire. What makes it easy? What makes it simple? What's something I can just plug and play? And that stuff, that's great, but that doesn't work in any form of marketing, to be completely clear. And you know it. You know it. And it doesn't work in referrals. What works in referrals is culture. And so my book, Can I Borrow Your Car? Yes, you should buy it. It's amazing. Buy 30. It's on Amazon, or you can go to caniborrowyourcar.com. But my book is really a book about the culture that is required to, number one, be safe for you and the referrals that are given to you, the people that refer those referrals to you. So there's three people to try it, right? It's really a story, a number of stories about how do we take care of relationships, and how do we do so in a manner that if it's the right relationship, we can create tremendous, and I mean tremendous results. Remember, it's not about who can refer, it's who actually will. And who will refer you, meaning that they've got the skills and the desire, to the ideal clients you want. Referrals are very rarely, especially within this podcast, sorry about that, referrals are very rarely an effective strategy for mass marketing. So they tend to be amazing for financial advisors and other people that sell expensive things, because you're trying to get in front of and you're trying to sell to people that have got the money and the experience to avoid you. And that's where referrals win, right? They win because you can get introduced to somebody who doesn't want to buy, but because of a relationship is interested in meeting you. Are you worth meeting? So let's talk about why culture is so valuable. If you approach the referral game within the culture that I advocate, which is can I borrow your car, that you're borrowing a Ferrari or a Lambo or a Bentley, or insert whatever vehicle you love, that you're borrowing that from someone else, and that your primary duty, like out of respect and care, is to bring that car back to them. And ideally in better condition if possible. Get it waxed, get it cleaned up, maybe throw on some new tires, whatever it takes, right? And that's the concept. So instead of trying to find out what's the one thing I say that gets me a referral from everyone, bad idea. By the way, the only phrase that works is a culture phrase, and it's I love referrals. Not give me referrals, not give me three names, but just, hey, I love referrals. How can I help? Right? So that's a culture. Like, so my macro scale tactic is actually a culture tactic, which is number one, letting people know you love referrals. Because if you love referrals, why don't you tell people? For God's sake, people. If you really want lots of referrals, if you want great referrals, let people know you do. Don't beg them. Don't attack them. So the other culture is if you understand that you're ultimately determining strategy after you identify which relationship you're asking to borrow. If you understand it. So we always do who to refer before we do how to refer. If you understand that, then what we do is we use this culture of do no harm, of return better, of care. We use that to, instead of saying, hey, this is the one way we do it, we use that to start a collaborative process, because after all, referrals are about relationships. We start a collaborative process. It doesn't have to be super intricate, of identifying what people are comfortable doing within the introduction process. And we do so with an appreciation that above all else, we want it to work. We want it to enhance relationships, and we don't want to cause stress, anxiety, or pain. And above all else, when I give you a referral, I want them back. I don't want to lose a client because I introduced you. I don't want to lose a friend because I introduced you. Fair? So back to this thing. So how does culture inform a referral process? So what it does is it changes the language you use when you get referred. You become more concerned with understanding how to take care of that relationship you're being introduced to, and do so intentionally within a system of care that you are almost guaranteed to return it better than you received it. That is the bedrock, because at the core, like, how would you like to 3x the amount of referral conversations you have? I bet you would. Here's how you do it. The other part of the can I borrow your car culture is, how do you become worse asking if you can borrow somebody's car? You lend yours. And so at the core of any of the work I do with clients, at the core of the book, right, is we start with predicting referrals that we give. There's a couple of reasons for this. In the culture of giving first, it's not giving to everyone, it's giving on purpose, right? And so we've got reactive giving, where because you are becoming more and more known in your network, online, in person, as someone who has valuable relationships and someone who can help. So you're going to have all kinds of organic, to use a marketing term, organic referrals trickling in. The more people understand that you are a referral giver, that you are always looking for new relationships that can help out clients of yours, that can help out other people. This is in the core of all the success I've experienced, is being known as a giver, as someone worth meeting, because I'm going to try and help the other person in a measurable way, not just a, hey, yeah, I really like to see if there's any possibility we can help each other out. Not one of these patented expressions with no system to back it up. What I'm talking about here is that if your culture is giving, then you are going to invest the time, energy, and effort to have a system that guarantees you can give effectively. And this is so that, number one, you don't want to be a call center. Maybe you do down the road. Maybe you'll even have an in-house concierge like a Ritz-Carlton, right? Maybe you'll have somebody whose job literally is to man the phones and the email and the social media and continually be helping clients and COIs get more business, right? Fair enough. But inherently, you want your giving system designed to produce for the people that are most important, right? And so I always say, start with those of your clients that want to grow their business owners, salespeople, whatever, and take time and think about how you can create opportunities for them on purpose, not by accident, because you're going to do that. I know that if you're thinking about your clients and you're at least aware of this culture that requires you to be trying to help other people, the reciprocity of effort, if not result, I know that you're going to be doing that when it pops in your lap, but that's not good enough. If you want other people to exert other effort on your behalf, you need to be doing the same thing. And that's really what the reciprocity is do not ask for your system to produce for you what you are not committed to producing for other people. And it's not necessarily tit for tat. There are going to be some relationships you have where you're going to give an inordinately amount of, you're going to give more to them than you get from them. And that's fine, because there'll be other relationships you have where you're giving less to them, but you're getting a lot more. And it's all good as long as we understand and everyone's getting what they expect and what they look for. And so open communication, transparency, vulnerability, humility, these are all superpowers. But back to the giving thing, right? I have an inherent kind of speed bump for your understanding of the culture. And it's in my system, and it's called the I love referrals question. The I love referrals question is not a segue into, now give me a referral. The I love referrals question is a part of every conversation, ideally, that you have with clients and other business resources, letting them know that you love referrals, that you appreciate everything they've done for you so much, because thank you is rarely overused. And it's where you then switch into, and if I can ever help you out with something, whether it's to help grow your business or help you get a deck on your house, please give me a chance. I spend a lot of time and effort trying to make sure that I've got the right people in my network, so that when clients and friends and business relationships want a referral to a high quality person, I can take care of that for you. And by the way, if you ask me for something and I don't know somebody, I'm going to let you know right away. And then I'm probably going to go try and find that person. So this is the I love referrals thing. All of a sudden, people, like when you say I love referrals, maybe the first couple of times with a client or somebody, if they've been in business a while, or they've been actually just around a while, they're probably waiting for the other shoe to drop. Oh, okay, you love referrals. you're now going to ask. And if you instead, because of culture, not because of some slick technique, because of culture, because you want to give on purpose, right? If you transition immediately into it, how can I help you? They're going to be like, wow, that should be a short conversation. If you're a financial advisor, every client meeting should involve you looking to give to them beyond what you're paid for. If you want to get referrals, if you want to be known as someone worth meeting when somebody's not buying, let's be honest, you want to meet that person worth 10 to 30 to $50 million, even if they're not hiring you in the moment, you want to get in front of them. Yes? Yes. It's so much easier to do business with someone that's already met you. So that's what we're going to use referrals for. But back to it, like you want to embed this in every conversation so that your clients get used to you saying, I love referrals and how can I help you? You're going to say the culture, then you're going to live the culture. And then gradually over time, the best clients of yours, the ones that are most likely to refer you, the people of peace from Luke 10 in the Bible, right? Those people that have influence and will use it on your behalf, they are going to get more and more comfortable. They're going to remember you more, and they're going to start using you more. And when you've referred people a couple of times, all of a sudden your introductions change. Well, why should I meet with such and such? Well, it's very financial advisor. I mean, but that's up to you. But I'm telling you right now, like there's 3 or 4 introductions that rascal's given me in the last couple of years that have not only increased the profit and revenue in my business, but it's also, he saved me a ton of money on a really sticky home project through one of his friends. This is a connector. You need to meet them because even if you don't want to do business with them now, you're going to want to know them in the future. Boom. Are you getting referrals like that? Good. If you are, good. It's probably because you're like in Rotary or Kiwanis. You're involved in some kind of community activity where people can see that you have honor, care, integrity, like they've seen you do it. Right? I'm thinking of a really great friend of mine, Dave Larson, who's been at Rotary for at least 20 years. Dave gets a ton of organic referrals because he has proven through actions, not what he says, but through actions, that he is a giver, that he is a conscientious. He's a wonderful human being, far nicer than I am, which is why I love him so much. Like I look to be around really great people as much as I can. So let's refresh because I don't want to talk too long. Culture. The referral culture is giving and care. Right? Can I borrow your car? Like I am going to be a safe driver. I'm going to do things on purpose and I'm going to communicate to you where I'm doing it. I'm not just borrowing your car and driving across the country. Like, hey, can I borrow your car to go down to X? Can I borrow your truck because I got to go to the dump? Whatever it is, like let people know what you're doing. Kind of, if they don't have a GPS on a vehicle, let them know where you're going so they have expectations. Keep your word. The other thing is, if you want to be known as someone who's a safe driver, you have to get chances to borrow the car. And the easiest way to have a lot more conversations about referrals to really ramp up that activity is to shift to giving. Number one, when you're trying to help people, they tend to get less irritated. Number two, when you're trying to help people and you know it's a culture thing, when you know you're really being open, those are easier conversations to have. You're more confident. You don't feel like you're being a predator. This is the essence. So, what questions, comments, concerns, Mike's an idiot, do you have? I'm interested in it all. Now, if you're a troll, trolls don't get fed, trolls get sent to the cave. But everyone else, you're welcome to jump on aboard the train. Please know that any comments or questions, those are things that may end up having you as a guest on the show, potentially, because, hey, I don't know everything. How do you think I learned this stuff? I didn't sit down and it came to me out of the ether. It came from interacting with great people like you. Also, I do have a referral request because I love referrals, right? And if you feel like this has been helpful, I'd like to have some ideas about great guests, people that know this referral culture, people that you feel like embody it. I don't care what profession they're in. I'd love if they're in financial services, whether they're a advisor that owns a business or whether they're working inside of a broker dealer. I'd just like to have more people on here to provide more insight, more value so you can hear it in lots of different ways. At the end of the day, I so much appreciate your time, so much appreciate you being involved, because this is the real deal. Like this is the humane marketing system. It's also the OG system. Referrals are the best. They've been around the longest and they're getting more and more valuable in the world of AI, but that's another skill series. So tune in next week. We'll have another drop. I think we're going to focus on giving referrals next week. Thanks and have an awesome day.